Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Of course, this is Bible Beginner, and looking forward to continuing our Genesis study today. We're going to be in Genesis chapter 13, and we're going to be talking about the separation of Abram and Lot, and that's going to take up the entirety of the chapter. Of course, we are reading out of the ESV as just kind of a easy translation to understand up front, and I think it's a very good translation. When I teach and I preach, I do it out of the King James Version, but I just think the ESV is a good one to read out of, especially for somebody just beginning. Um, that's just my personal opinion. I know there's a lot of differencing opinions out there on translations, but we're going to read Genesis chapter 13 today. You guys, for prayer requests from me on this front, just be remembering my church's VBS that's coming up. We really want to try to get as many kids as we can get there as possible. Really wanting to just see some kids interact with the Lord. You'll probably see some Facebook notifications pop up, but um, so we're going to start by reading Genesis chapter 13 today. Of course, the title of this, which is obviously not in the Bible, but Abram and Lot separate. So Abram went up from Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into Negeb. Now Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold, and he journeyed on from Negeb as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place where he had made an altar at the first. And there Abram called upon the name of the Lord. And Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, so that the land could not support both of them dwelling together. For their possessions were so great that they could not dwell together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. At that time, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites were dwelling in the land. Then Abram said to Lot, "Let there be no strife between you and me, and between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for we are kinsmen. It is not the whole land before you. Separate yourself from me. If you take the left hand, then I will go to the right, or if you take the right hand, then I'll go to the left." And Lot lifted up his eyes, and saw that the Jordan Valley was well watered everywhere, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, in the direction of Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself all the Jordan Valley, and Lot journeyed east. Thus they separated from each other. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, while Lot settled among the cities of the valley and moved his tent as far as Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were wicked, great sinners against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from him, "Lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land that you see I will give to you and to your offspring forever. I will make your offspring as the dust of the earth, so that if one can count the dust of the earth, your offspring can also be counted. Arise, walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I will give it to you." So Abram moved his tent and came and settled by the oaks of Mamre, which are at Hebron, and there he built an altar to the Lord. So we see here that Abram and Lot separate for, well, a very logical reason. After Egypt, they had multiplied their livestock, Abram has, and had a lot. He was a very wealthy man, had tons of livestock and silver and gold, and Lot also had his own amount, and him having his own a large amount of livestock, the land they were at, they couldn't support each other. Anybody that knows anything about farming, which is not me, but if you have an overabundance of animals, they can't eat the grass. There's not enough to go around. So they decide to separate. Lot decides to take the land of the Jordan Valley, and Abram decides to go on about his way. But beforehand, the Lord once again speaks to Abram this promise, this "I will let you multiply. Your people are gonna be great. Your offspring are gonna be like the dust of the earth. All this land before you, I will give you and your offspring." This promise that God gives Abram, and Abram every time you see his faith is in He'll go to places. He went back to where his altar was, the first altar he made was, and calls upon the name of the Lord. This man is a worshiper. He worships the Lord. There's a lot we can learn from Abram. And then also remember this. He built an altar to the Lord. Where they had this conversation, he built another altar. See, Abram builds altar and praises as he goes. The things I think we can learn from Abram is just the consistency in our faith and the strength in our faith. And that's something that we're going to continue to observe from Abram, even as he moves into being Abraham. And we'll also see some falls, of, some fails from Abram as well that we can learn from there too. Guys, I know it was a little bit of a shorter video today, but it's just about the separation of Abram and Lot and the covenantal promise between God and Abram. And just wanted to touch base and get in the Word with you guys. Just remember, the purpose of this is to always just to read together, to get in the Word together daily or weekly, however much we can. But I want to tell you guys that I love and appreciate you guys. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. It's Tuesday when I'm uploading this. We got quite a bit ahead. I hope you guys have good church sessions tomorrow. And I'm praying for you guys. Like always, I want to go ahead and pray us out. Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we'd like to just thank you for letting us be able to spend some time on your word today and just read and study together, Lord. I hope that we can continue through Genesis and just soak up more of your word and just read together and just look for what we can find in your word, God. Also, just want to tell you thank you for all your blessings that you've given me today and all the things that you've helped me accomplish. God, I hope that our VBS at Antioch will just be able to touch some children's hearts and let them see the Lord and experience the Lord, maybe even for the first time in their life, where they actually open their eyes to the gospel. God, I hope you just let us serve you and honor you in the way that you see fit. God, I'd also just like to ask you, remember my wife and her blood pressure situation, Lord. I know that can be scary, and I just pray for her. God, thank you for everything that you've done for me again. I can never say that enough. And I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, guys, once again, thank you guys for all the support. I mean, it really does just mean the world to me. And it never ceases to amaze me, the support that people pour into it's just small stuff like this. It's awesome. But God bless you guys. If you need me to pray for anything, please put them in the comments. And I'll specifically pray for those things. See you guys later.